What's up, everybody? It's girl Megan, show fitness instructor. And today I'm going to go over section 6 of the Nasm textbook. Last section, only 3 chapters, so this one should be quick. Now, for those of you who are watching for your first time, I am our in-person instructor here in La Jolla, California, as well as our online instructor for our past Nasm, ACE, any other textbook CPT course. And thanks to the help of our study guide and weekly Zoom calls, we've been able to help over 3,200 people pass this thing, and we can help you too. Now, here at Show Up Fitness, we want to make sure that you guys have all the tools necessary to make this a long-lasting and successful career, which is why we have our own SUF-CPT money-back guarantee with our online and in-person internship course to teach you guys anatomy, how to properly program, sales, business, assessments, everything that you guys need to know. If you only take a multiple choice test and you think that you're going to be prepared as a trainer, think again. One of the biggest feedbacks that we get from people that pass is they don't know how to program and they don't feel confident training others. And that's because personal training isn't going to be written, right? It's personal for a reason. That hands-on experience, getting feedback from fitness professionals in the industry. Here at Show Up Fitness, we do understand that you may be going to a gym that only accepts specific CPTs, or it may be too late to get that refund that you need for it, which is why we offer these resources, our study guide, weekly Zoom calls, these YouTubes, as well as one-on-one tutor sessions and extra quiz questions, because we want to make sure that you guys pass it as fast as possible. You shouldn't be wasting 6 months, a year trying to read this book, and then guess what? At the end of it, still don't know how to train. Now, you guys are watching, obviously, because you want to pass the Nasm CPT, so let's get to it. Section 6, program design. The first chapter is going to be chapter 21, Optimum Performance Training Model, the OPT model. We already went over this a couple chapters before. I also have a video on it. If you haven't watched already, go ahead, watch it, get more details, but just the basics of the OPT model. So as you guys should know, there's 5 phases, 3 levels. What are they going to be? And then how are you going to plan throughout it? So on page 680, 681, goes through different types of periodization, programming plans that you guys will use. So macro cycle, macro, think biggest, it's going to be like an annual plan, yearly, very long term. Mesocycle is going to be the one right underneath that. Think mes as in Spanish, meses, months. So that's going to be month to month. You're looking for that. And then micro cycle, micro meaning the smallest. You're usually looking at a week, maybe a little bit over, maybe even just a couple days. But macro biggest, meso in the middle, micro small. All you need to know for that. So keep going. Probably won't see a question, but if you do, maybe on periodization on page 682, 683, linear versus undulating periodization. Linear just is slowly progressing versus undulating is you're changing up the variables, those acute variables that we've talked about so many times. So maybe you're changing it from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or one week you do it a certain way, the next week you do it a certain way. So you're constantly changing those variables, like the sets, reps, tempo, intensity, all of those things. 689, you will see the different patterns that Nasm will have. They have 6, which is going to be squatting, hip hinge, pulling motions, pushing motions, pressing, and multiplanar movement. If you want to become a level 1 SUF-CPT, you'll need to know our 8 core patterns, which are going to be a vertical press, horizontal push, vertical pull, horizontal pull, squat, hinge, unilateral, and transitional. You're going to need to know those patterns along with the agonists and synergists of those. As you keep on moving, it kind of demonstrates it. So if you guys have never done these patterns, maybe you're new to, lifting or working out just in general, let me know if you guys would like demonstrations. I can make other videos going over these movements, but just the basic patterns and how you can do it. And key things to note with any of these, Nasm likes specific terms. So in-line neutral positions are key to them. When you're doing a squat, they want to make sure that your feet, specifically your second and third toe, your knees are going in between that, in line with it. So you'll have examples of those, but we'll just keep on going. Page 692, the synergists. Synergists are going to be the helping muscles, assisting muscles. So maybe you do go a question about the bench press that you see on 693. What's the agonist muscle? It's going to be the pec major. What's the synergist? Triceps. Obviously, there's a whole lot more, but they'll probably just ask about those 2. 697, something about balance, stabilization. So I have a video on that. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead. Just the difference balance exercises that you can do between the levels. So stabilization, strength, power. What type of balance exercises would you provide to your clients? So for balance stabilization, for example, you would do a single leg balance and reach. That balancing leg isn't moving. So keep going. 699, this is where we get more into details. I'll just skim through this because I do have a video on this. The OPT model, their acute variables, what you need to know from it, what you do not. Go ahead and check that out. But basically, these next couple pages are just going to be going over those acute variables. So you got sets, reps, tempo, rest, intensity, all those things with it. With chapter 21. So the next one, chapter 22, Introduction to Exercise Modalities. Page 728, proprioceptively enriched environments. Remember, if you hear that, proprioception, a lot of things, think about stabilization phase 1 at the OPT model. Elastic resistance, so cables, all that stuff, just type of exercises you can do. TRX, medicine balls, make sure on 735, medicine balls also can be abbreviated as MB. They like to use these in the power phases. So a bench press into a medicine ball chest throw. And 737, to know about that medicine ball, remember that should not be more than 10% of the client's body weight. Yep, just different types of equipment. Sandbags, usually they're seen here for athletes, more advanced clients. Battle ropes, just basic different things, uses of equipment that you could use. Stability balls, of course, once again, if you see that, most likely going to be in that phase 1 stabilization. So remember also the different balance modalities, how you can progress that. Have a video on that. If you haven't watched already, go check it out as well. But definitely know how you can progress and regress between the different balance modalities, being those different pieces of equipment. The Bosie ball. That is it. So now on to the next chapter, chapter 23, chronic health conditions and special populations. We'll just skim through this one as well. The biggest thing that you're going to get out of this chapter is contraindications. What are contraindications? Just things that you should be cautious with doing for specific populations. So we'll look at different individuals' cases here to go over that. Keep going, difference between youth and elderly training, just knowing what to do there. Page 765. Part Q. I do have top 20 acronyms. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. Part Q is one of them, meaning Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire. So that's that one. Keep on going. 767, BMI. Definitely know the BMI ranges. Gone over that. 768. So when it comes to obesity, training obese individuals, key things that you want to be aware of is going to be their positioning. So you want to make sure that they're usually standing or seated upright, not lying down, prone or supine. So lying prone with their knuckles facing them on their stomachs, lying supine on their back with their palms facing up. You can also see modifying the overhead squat, refraining from single leg balancing exercises depending on the individual, but that's just the basic contraindications to be aware with. In 771, you're going to see diabetes, the two different types. Type 1 being that your body is not able to produce that insulin, usually childhood onset, versus type 2 is going to be that your body is producing it, it's not accepting it, so it's insulin resistant. More often cases, people are type 2 diabetes, which we as personal trainers have the ability to help them with proper diet, exercise. 775, once again, hypertension comes up a lot, but just know 140 over 90 is the key one. When you see that high blood pressure, things to be aware with that people have hypertension, kind of similar just as we did with obese clients, making sure that they're going to be usually standing or seated upright. You want them lying down in supine or prone positions, and you also don't want where their head is going to be lower than their heart. And page 778, the type of training that you would use for clients or individuals that have hypertension is going to be PHA, peripheral heart action, just a type of circuit training that's going to alternate between upper and lower extremities to help distribute more of an even blood flow there. The things to know, also contraindications. You want them breathing normally, avoiding the Valsalva maneuver, and also avoiding gripping or hanging onto things too tightly and for too long there. All of those things could potentially increase someone's blood pressure, so try to refrain from that. And then just coronary heart disease. So just skip that, just basic stuff knowing there. Page 782, maybe you get a question versus osteopenia and osteoporosis. Osteopenia is going to be the precursor to osteoporosis. So osteopenia is going to be the condition where you have a lower than normal bone mineral density, BMD. So basically it's between -1 and -2.5 standard deviations from the normal versus osteoporosis. Now it's a disease where you're kind of getting more brittle now, decaying, where it's greater than a -2.5 bone mineral density from the normal range there. We can help our clients prevent these or even decrease the rate at which they enter these stages as they get older with strength training. A lot of times when people get older, they do water aerobics and biking and other exercise, which is still great. They should be doing that. Of course, it's joint friendly, getting their body moving, increasing the activity, but specifically for their bone mineral density and that health, strength training is going to be the most beneficial there. Cancer in 788, just being considerate, basically if someone is going through chemotherapy, making sure to be cautious or refrain from using SMR, self-myofascial release, foam rolling with them. Next page, 791, contraindications for pregnant clients are going to be that you want to, once again, just refrain from supine and prone positions, have them most likely standing or in a seated position. You refrain from usually single leg balance exercises, and this is specifically referring to later on to with clients in their second and third trimester, but want to avoid also uncontrolled, really fast twisting motions. Different diseases that you can see, pretty much for all of them, the basic thing is going to be, refrain from doing this, minimize movement, but that is the end of the chapters, so we are physically done here. If you keep on going the book, there's examples of different things that you can see. Honestly, just skip them all. Don't need to do it. This section was program design, but I'm telling you, the biggest thing is that people still don't know how to program after the test. It doesn't teach you how to program, which is why, like I said before, here at Show Up Fitness, we want to make sure that you guys know how to program, that you're confident training people. And that's why we have our in-person internship here in La Jolla, California, as well as West Hollywood. And we understand if we cannot commit to the in-person, that's why we also have online. You can learn wherever you're at, anywhere in the world, even in the comfort of your own home. We have those classes Monday to Friday, daily, live and recorded. So you don't have to worry if you can't attend it. They're always going to be on our platform. We have the Show Up Fitness app, so you can go through there and look at all the videos and the content that we have. And of course, if you cannot come to us, we will come to you. We have weekend seminars occurring every month or so, so make sure you're on the lookout for those dates and when they are to come. And of course, you can always message me on Instagram at active ACT7VE, as well as at Show Up Fitness, Show Up Fitness Internship. I also have my email, Meagan at showupfitness.com. If there's any content that you guys want to see and you want me to make a video of, go ahead and message me there or comment below. And of course, if you haven't already, go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, if you want to become a great, successful personal trainer, all you got to do is show up. It's girl Meagan, out of here.